Hi everyone, I'm Michael Goldstein from Long Life Saunas, and today I have a short video for you about tent saunas. These are a type of near-infrared sauna that are pretty common, pretty popular. It's a lot of people making them and selling them. And what I'd like to point out are a few of the disadvantages of the tent sauna style. And I've got 7 things to talk about. I'm going to make it really brief, but they're basically 7 reasons not to use a tent sauna. Before we get started, I'm sitting in front of one of our wood cabin saunas that we make here at Long Life Saunas. This is made of poplar. You can see it has a really nice grain. This is a very fine unit. It's very heavy. It's really solid. We've been making this model for almost 4 years now, and we've never had one returned. We've never had to replace a broken part in the field. Because these are all made by hand to order with serious attention to detail, and they are, as you can see, we think they're beautiful units. I hope you agree. With that, I'll move on to our tent sauna information. The tent sauna, first of all, you'll see them online. They are frame saunas covered in canvas with near-infrared lamps mounted on a board on the side. Oftentimes they're trapezoidal in shape, sometimes they're rectangular, but the basic design is a frame covered in canvas. And we think there's some problems with these saunas that you should know about before you consider purchasing one. So the first is that many of these products have PVC frames, and the short with that is PVC is totally toxic. Some practitioners don't think the off-gassing is significant in the sauna, but there's information online showing that PVC does in fact off-gas. And when you use it in the sauna, you're going to be heating it up directly. The frame is exposed inside the sauna. It's in the direct path of the heat lamps, so it's going to get hot. Probably get up to 100, 110, 115 degrees. I don't know exactly how hot the PVC itself gets, but when you combine that with the fact that you are enclosed in a sauna, you're going to be dealing with off-gassing. And the PVC itself, it's full of something called phthalates. Those are what soften the PVC and make it pliable. They damage fertility, also toxic. The PVC is, in its process, there's a stabilizer that is made with heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury. Those are being phased out in the European Union, but they're still totally fine in the US. So you've got that in your frame, and then you've basically got the vinyl chloride, which is a known carcinogen. Workers in the field making these have occupational cancers related directly to vinyl chloride exposure. And chlorine is a gas, and you have a serious risk of off-gassing while using that product. And then, of course, PVC itself is a persistent environmental toxin. So we really recommend not using that in a tool you're going to use primarily for detoxification. You don't really want to be breathing in toxic vapors. So it's stay away from PVC frames entirely. And they also, of course, release dioxins, which are totally toxic. So stay away from the PVC. The second reason not to use a tent sauna is that the canvas itself doesn't really hold heat well. It holds heat, but not well. It's porous, and some people cite that as an advantage because there's some air movement, and that may be true. But as the air goes out, so does the heat. And these saunas tend to heat up to about 110 or 115. Some practitioners think that's sufficient. I personally do not. I would like to have a sauna that can get to at least 130, and the customer, the sauna user, can always choose to run it at a lower temperature. But in these tent saunas, you don't have a choice. You can't run it at 130. It just doesn't get that hot. So you've got this canvas that doesn't hold heat. And the result, as you use a sauna, and this is really important, is that those saunas are significantly less effective for raising core temperatures than our models. All of our models, actually, because we don't use that canvas. The third reason not to use a tent sauna with canvas is that canvas is prone to mold. A lot of people put these in their basements. They may be moist or just slightly damp or have high humidity. Over time, the canvas is an excellent material to get moldy. And consider that when you use a sauna, you sweat profusely in there, adding more moisture to the environment. So again, you deal with serious mold issues with that in certain situations. The lining in our saunas is absolutely mold proof. and there's no way that it can mold. It doesn't support the growth of mold. The fourth reason not to use the tent saunas is they're not durable. I have had customers over the years buy my product after their tent sauna basically fell apart. And there's a couple reasons for that. The seams in these covers rip. If you've pretty much ever owned any piece of clothing that you wore over years, you see what happens to it over time. They eventually tear and they fall apart. The same thing can happen with your seams, in particular on the door, because that's the piece that gets stretched. There's even one site selling products that blatantly states right there on the site that an advantage of these saunas is that the frames and covers are easy to replace, which is indirect acknowledgement that they're going to fall apart. So when they do, they're easy to replace. I just assume buy something that's going to last, and that's not a tent sauna. And the last thing about them not being durable, and this honestly drives me crazy, is that the PVC frames and even the wood frames that are made with round dowels, the corner joints don't have any fasteners. There's no screws, there's no glue. Say what you want about glue, screws obviously there's no issue, but if you don't have anything in there and you're dealing with something that gets hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, sooner or later those joints are going to loosen. No carpenter or plumber worth their salt would ever install anything with no fasteners in it whatsoever. So to me that's a kind of recipe for disaster, especially when you consider that you're hanging on that unfastened frame an extremely hot electrical device. So if the joints were to fail and that were to fall and crash, that would be a problem. The fifth reason that we don't care for the tent sauna is that, and this is not all of them, but most of them that we've seen, is the lights are hung on a piece of plywood. They sort of take the quickest approach to making a light board, and that's fine. But what you see is that dimensional lumber that is not plywood only comes in boards generally 11¼ inches wide or smaller. So if you want to make a big board, you have to have some kind of joint or joinery. So a lot of these products, they're basically just cutting a square out of plywood because it's quick, it's cheap, and it's easy. That part I get. Unfortunately, there's only one plywood in this country that doesn't have formaldehyde, that doesn't off-gas toxic VOCs, and that's made by Columbia Forest Products, and it's called Pure Bond, and we use that in some of our products because it's made with soy glue and has no formaldehyde and doesn't off-gas. It's the only one in the country like it, and I haven't seen it on any other product, so you want to watch out for that. You do not want formaldehyde and PVC off-gassing inside your sauna. So stay away from the light boards that are mounted on plywood. It's easy enough to do a simple joint in a pine board and not have to deal with that. The sixth reason that we don't like these products is that the light fixture on most of them that we've seen is not UL listed. It doesn't matter if the sauna is UL listed. What matters is that the electrical work is UL listed. So if it's not UL listed, here's the big problem. If you have a fire, you may have an issue with your insurance company for running an unlicensed electrical product, meaning the insurance may not take your claim. That's a distinct possibility and something you really want to look into. We don't see a lot of fires with these. They're generally pretty safe, but you never know. Something terrible could happen. There could be an accident. You could be in there and smash the bulb and start a fire. So you want to look out for non-UL listed fixtures. In our sauna, we use only UL listed fixtures. It's one of the reasons we moved to track lights, because the fixtures, the track strips, the track heads, and the bulbs are all UL listed, so the lighting system is UL listed, which is something that you want just for your peace of mind. And the seventh reason we don't like these, and this is a kicker, is that canvas is highly flammable. Highly flammable. The flash point of canvas is about 450 degrees. The surface temperature of a 250 watt near infrared bulb is between 500 and 550 degrees. And what we've seen is that if you put a piece of canvas on that bulb, it will smoke in 10 seconds. And I've never let it go to fire, but I'm guessing between 20 and 30 seconds it will be completely on fire. And that's a hazard, especially when you're dealing with a product that is sewn together. If a seam fails, or for some reason, any reason, the door flap fails, if a canvas comes in contact with that bulb, it can go up in flames pretty quickly. So I have a 250 watt bulb. We're going to edit in a little video demo, and I'll show you. I'll take a little strip of canvas, and I'm going to stick it on the bulb, and you'll see just how quickly it starts to smoke. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, hi everyone. What we have here is a 250 watt Philips bulb, pretty common use for the sauna. And this is a piece of heavyweight cotton canvas duck. And this is what the type of material that the covers are made out of. The thickness may vary, but it's cotton and it's canvas. So what you're going to see is I'm going to stick it on the bulb, and you're going to watch how long it takes before it smokes. And I will probably pull it off before it actually goes up in flames, so I don't have to deal with that in my shop. But you're going to get the point very quickly. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. There it goes. There's the first bit of smoke. Here comes more smoke. Yep. Totally smoking. So we got less than 10 seconds before it starts to smoke. And I'm inclined not to bust this bulb, but you should be able to see that in the video. Now it's smoking pretty good. So, you know, if you're ever out of matches and you need to start a little bonfire, you can always do this. So, yeah, I would say, I don't know, maybe another 10 or 15 seconds before we got it on fire. So there you go. Not particularly safe. So as you can see, it is a hazard, and especially with canvas, because it can literally drape over a bulb if a piece were to fall off. So those are 7 reasons not to use a tent sauna. There are much better options. The one reason that we see time and time again that people do use a tent sauna is because of price. They're inexpensive. I can't argue that. You can get into a tent sauna for about $600, and for many people that's really, from the financial aspect, it's a great option. But just be forewarned, you get what you pay for. You get a product that is potentially hazardous, non-UL listed, could catch on fire, and doesn't work as well, and doesn't last, as well as can be highly toxic when you use it. So we would recommend staying away from those when there are better options out there, including our products. Our products start at about $1,300, and for that you get our Eco Sauna. We've been making that particular model for 4 years, and we've never had a damage return on that product. We've never had anything other than bulbs break in the field. So it's a durable, rugged product. It stands the test of time. It will last for you, and they work great. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this video wasn't too long, and stay tuned. We'll have some more videos coming soon with some information about how to use the sauna. Thank you.